All right, guys, welcome back. We got episode 6. We got episode 6 here with Matt Blanchard. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
It's been fun jamming with you a little bit before the show, and there's going to be a lot of value added, I think, for sure, in this show. So let me kind of introduce you. So Matt, he grew up in Salt Lake, Taylorsville.
Yep.
That's where you're from. We talked a little bit about baseball. It's a big baseball town.
Yeah, love baseball.
Big sports guy, outdoor camping, fishing, sports, like I said, football, golf. But on January 2006, Matt was involved in an auto accident that left him paralyzed below the waist. And today, Matt is still an avid sports fan. He still golfs, wrestles, plays many other sports. He just does it a little different. And he's here today to talk about some of the decisions he's made in the past and the challenges associated with those decisions. And so let's welcome Matt to the show. Thanks for coming on.
Dude, great to be here. Great rapping out with you, man.
It is fun. I mean, it's fun chatting with you before, and this is the first time I met you.
Yeah.
But I've heard about you so many times from other people.
Good
Real
things.
business owners, all good things. I mean, I think actually the first time I heard about you, I heard you were talking with the real business owners in their group, Easier Accounting, and I heard there wasn't a dry eye in the room. So
yeah, pumped
to have you on the show. This is going to be a good one.
Thanks. It is great. It's great to be here. Thanks for having me. Serious.
Cool.
Yeah.
So let's get into it. I mean, so you grew up Salt Lake,
Yo.
Big sports guy. What does sports have to do in your life? Like, what role does that play now? What did it play then? Like, what did sports teach you?
Yeah, so sports taught me a lot. They taught me how to lose, because I wasn't the best at everything. So yeah. I although I aspired to be, but the sports I played were football, wrestled, and ran track. So I was really fast, really, really fast. So the track thing, I tried out for baseball at Taylorsville, but didn't make it. They're a good baseball team over there.
Baseball team.
Yep. But I, took the good things that I liked about some of my coaches and kind of transferred over into my coaching career, and it's been good. Sports brings everybody together.
Yeah. For sure. I like what you said about like it teaches you how to lose.
Yeah.
And I feel that way, especially with wrestling, right? I wrestled, but only in middle school. I think I wrestled 3 years, and my freshman year was my last year that I wrestled, because then I got into baseball.
Gotcha.
But I remember thinking, like, out of all the sports that I did play, because I was in everything as a kid. I mean, karate, gymnastics, I was into swimming, like everything. My parents just threw me in everything. And it was just you.
Yeah.
Like, you're out on the mat with somebody that's your size, and it's your training, your preparation is shown in that one match.
Yeah.
And if you lose, you look like an idiot in front of everybody. Your girlfriend may be sitting there watching you, and you just got pinned.
Yeah.
It's like, as a guy, it's like the biggest ego check there is.
Dude, Eric, I don't know if you've ever had to do this. I had to wrestle a girl once.
I never did.
Oh my God.
No, I never did.
I'm in high school, and I draw this girl, and she didn't. Here's the crazy thing, okay? She was amputated from the elbow down as well on the left side. And I know that because she used that to beat the hell out of me. I did end up pitting her, but dude, she used that club as a club, and she let me know, hey, yeah. I'm here.
Yeah, it is a brutal sport. The preparation is brutal, and it teaches you a lot. I love that part of, like, you learn how to lose through sports for sure.
Yep.
My kids, I want to just throw them into sports too, in anything and then just push them to be the best that they can.
And my parents, I come from a broken family. So my mom and dad were divorced when I was 10. So my dad was kind of an absentee dad until after high school. So I was a wayward kid, and without sports, I would have gotten I got in a lot more trouble than I did.
Yeah.
And thank goodness there was no social media back then. Too.
Yeah. Well, so this is maybe jumping the gun just a little bit, but you now, and we'll get to this, but you go around to high schools all the time right now.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll jam on that in a little bit, but like, it's different.
Dude.
It's totally different. I see it too. And I would love to jam with you on that, because you go all over to these high schools and teach these kids. And I think that's so inspiring for them to be able to see that and hear from you.
Thanks.
But we're going to get into that, I think, for sure. I want to get into that with you. But so, high school sports, take us from there to 2006. So what was in between?
Okay. So graduate high school, and at 19, I get married to my high school sweetheart.
Young.
Yeah.
Crazy young. I mean, Utah, you're like right out.
Right. And I knew everything at 19.
Yeah.
We the doctor didn't even tell us we're in love. We're just doing it to do it.
Yeah.
So I got married at 19. I've had the same girlfriend since I was 15 years old. We're still married today, 29
awesome.
years, 3 kids. So she's the rock. Through this whole story, you keep in mind, you're only as good as your woman. And you'll probably attest to that as well, that a man will rise and fall depending on who he has picked as a partner.
Yeah.
And my wife is our freaking rock star, man. But graduate high school, go right into the construction trades, become an electrician, do 4 years of electrical work. 2 years after that, I get my master's in electrical, and I start my own electrical company in 2003. And I don't know if you remember back, you probably don't because you were just a kid, but it was too easy. Money was too, that was before
7, 8,
housing. Yeah, before all that happened. So money was good, and I decided my company name was Titleist Electric. So I'm an avid golfer, love golfing, still golf.
Yeah.
So, and St. George was booming back then. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go open a division in St. George. So came down here to St. George, and it was tough breaking into the good old boys crew, because there are good old boys here in town.
Especially in 2003.
Right?
Yep.
And Gooblers, Staley's.
Grafts, Ences, Hafens,
Right?
Yep.
So having a rough time breaking in, finally get the standard plumbing up in Cedar City, and we start doing that number. Well, January 16th of 2006, I wake up. I'm late for work. I'm going to bid a fire alarm job up at Cedar City Hospital. Run out, jump in my truck, brand new Dodge truck, had 30 miles on it. And I hurry across town to pick up one of my employees, Brett. And Brett's a 19-year-old punk kid. I'm 30. And he jumps in the cab of my truck, and I kid you not, he shakes the rain off of himself. And I've got rain now on my dash and my brand new leather, and I'm pissed. And he turns right to me and says, Matt, put your seatbelt on. Just like a punk, man. Just, Matt, put your seatbelt on. I was like, Brett, listen, don't tell me what to do.
Yeah.
And so we jumped on the freeway. I picked him up in Hurricane. I jumped on the freeway, started heading up towards Cedar. And as we did that, the rain turns to snow. Brett, for a second time, Matt, put your seatbelt on. And this time I gave him all the reasons why I didn't need to. So I'm 6'2". I know I looked like I was 4'2" coming in, but I'm really 6'2". At the time, I was 215 pounds. Just ran the St. George Marathon in October. Best shape of my life. And so I'm explaining all this to him, and I'm driving. I'm in control. I'm a mountain of muscle. Paralysis happens to other people. Doesn't happen to me.
Yeah.
Don't tell me what to do. Further up the canyon we go. And I get stuck behind a semi-truck because now it's whiteout conditions. And at mile marker 42, the New Harmony exit, the semi-truck gets off the freeway because he can't make out where I-15 starts or stops either. And right then, for the third time, Brett turns to me and says, Matt, please put your seatbelt on. For the third time, I said no. So not a still small voice, not a warm, funny feeling. Somebody sitting right next to me, telling me to protect myself, and for the third time, I said no. So no sooner did that happen, I lose control of the back end of my truck. I get completely sideways, and I go down in the median. My front tires catch that wet, fresh dirt, and my truck launches into the air. Comes down on the driver's side cab, rips my hands from the steering wheel, starts another rotation, throwing me throughout the cab. And when the truck stopped, it was on the passenger door. Everything was black. I was disoriented and confused. And what had happened is my back had gone in the steering wheel, and I had literally snapped myself right in two.
Gosh.
So the reason why everything was black and I couldn't see anything was my hips were covering my face. So I'm laying on the passenger door. Brett's buckled in right here. And I remember looking up over my head and grabbing my knees and bringing them back down to the floorboards. Now I'm sitting on Brett's lap, and I couldn't feel any of that. You could hear my phone, and you could actually hear the vibration in my pocket. Couldn't feel that. And I just turned to Brett, and I'm like, Brett, I'm paralyzed. And he's like, man. So Brett held me in that truck for 2 hours till emergency crews drove down from Cedar City and cut us out with the jaws of life flight me up to LDS hospital and more MRIs, CTs. And when I went into the steering wheel, there was so much pressure this way. I didn't break into like a pencil. So there was so much pressure on my vertebrae, my 12th vertebrae, so about 2 inches above my belly button, that it grenaded my 12th vertebrae, and a piece of that bone went into my spinal cord just enough to lose everything at 30. So this big, strong guy that I was no longer him. I didn't.
And did you have kids at this point?
Yeah. So I had all three of my kids.
Your kids.
Yeah. So Jaden today is 26, Brooklyn's 24, and Bubba's 22. I think Bubba was six or 7 years old when it all happened, my youngest. And he has no memories of his dad walking. And regrets in life. I wish my kids could have watched me play sports.
Yeah.
You know, even if it was slow pitch softball, I wish my kids could have saw how athletic and fast I was.
Dad was,
you know. So
let's stay there for a second. So you're in the car, you're in the cab. Was there a moment where you thought about your family? Did it hit you right away? Did it hit you in the hospital? Like, when did it hit you? Like, when, because your wife's not with you,
right?
Kids aren't with you,
right?
When did that hit you, and what were the thoughts?
So immediately, as I told Brett he needed to get a hold of Natalie, my wife, and so he called Natalie up. She didn't believe him. You know, there's no way. I'm like, no, we're in the truck right now. They're cutting us out. So Natalie hustles to get up to Cedar City with one of our neighbors. Sees my truck on the side of the road with the top and everything, my brand new 30 miles anyway. So I get up to LDS hospital, and I remember laying on a metal table, and I was freezing cold. And I remember reaching down and trying to feel my legs, and there was nothing there. I couldn't feel that, and they were so rubbery and so heavy and just so cold. They were so cold. And I was pretty selfish back then. I wanted to die right then. I wanted to figure out a way that I did not have to live a life of paralysis, a life in a wheelchair. And so it was all about me.
Yeah.
On the real. It was all about me, man. So I spent 10 days in ICU. They go in and they take out all the bone. And I was so big and muscular, a lot like you, that when they cut my back open, they couldn't control the bleeding. So they're doing blood transfusions, and I just about bled out and died. So they had to close me up and go in for a second surgery. And so now I have rods that run the full length of my spine, and where that vertebrae was gone. So if this is my spinal cord, vertebrae, so there's nothing there to protect that spinal cord. So they had to put a titanium basket around my spinal cord, take out one of my ribs, crush it up, put inside that basket, and then just fuse me all the way down my spine. So my spine is just one big piece of bone.
Just a solid bar.
Yep, that's it, man.
It ain't moving much.
It hasn't moved in 18 years. So 18 years, man. So I'm laying there, and everybody leaves the room. Everybody but my dad, my coach, and I'm the athlete in the family. And he pulls a chair up to the side of my bed. Now, I wouldn't open my eyes or acknowledge anybody because I just wanted this nightmare to be over. And my dad said something that changed my life. He says, Matt, you know, you can quit. This is rough. This is rough. He said, we can all quit, but do you have it in you to dig in, dig deep, and get it done? And then he got up and he left the room. So now I'm wrestling with my dad's words. Dig in. And then immediately, paralysis. Dig deep. Life in a wheelchair. Get it done. Well, what am I going to get done? You know, a lot of times when we suffer a deficit or something traumatic happens, we look at all the things we've lost, and we look at the doors that have closed rather than the doors that are literally opening right in front of you. But I couldn't see those doors. So I decided I was going to walk again. I'm Matt Blanchard. Paralysis doesn't have anything on me. And so the following morning, my occupational therapist comes into the room. Well, Matt, what do you want to do today? I'm like, I want to walk. He's like, all right, we'll walk. I'm like, this is my guy, man. All right, we'll walk. But first, I want you to get your socks on. And I chuckled. I laughed. I'm like, my socks? For real? I get my socks on and we'll walk? And he's like, you bet. Get your socks on, we'll walk. So I'm laying there in that bed. He throws me a pair of socks. And I had a brace that went from my shoulder blades all the way to my hips because of all those screws and rods and everything. So I couldn't bend. And I'm looking down the bed, and I can't even see the feet that I'm supposed to get these socks on. So I start pulling at my legs, and they're not coming, and they're so heavy, and I'm so frustrated. Sweating. 40 minutes goes by, no socks. Casey comes back in the room. He's like, yo, thought you wanted to walk. Get those socks on. You know what I'm saying? So I'm pissed. And Casey says, Matt, you want some help? Want some help getting your socks on? I was like, nope. Who needs help getting their socks on?
Yeah.
And, and now we all need help getting our socks on. Every last one of us, man. Whatever that is, we all need help. And especially for a man, for me, I struggled asking for help. I don't anymore. I used to think that might show weakness or be less that I couldn't do it on my own or be by myself. So I told him no, I don't need any help. So he started leaving the room, and he threw me a lasso. I kid you not, a lasso. So now I spent the next 20 minutes trying to lasso a foot that I couldn't see. Every cuss word I've used in the book, making cuss words up. The staff's coming in the room, like, hey, are you okay? Are you all right? And I'm getting my socks on. Leave me alone, right? Finally, I get my socks on, and it's been an hour and 10 minutes. And I am exhausted. There's a sweat outline in my bed, and I'm exhausted. I got my socks on all by myself, an hour and 10 minutes. Casey comes in, been watching the whole time. He's like, right on. Good job. Let's go walk. Like, bro, I'm exhausted. I can't walk. So, you just don't know what you don't know.
Yeah. I love what you said there really quick, where you said, and I'll maybe touch on, this is a hard question. Yeah. I'm going to ask, but because it can be anywhere you want to, but where you say that everybody needs help getting their socks on, you said that. What does that mean? What does that look like to the viewers, to the listeners? What does that mean to you, and what does that look like in everybody's life?
That's a great question. That first and foremost, you are not alone. You're not alone, man. None of us, and we feel so alone and so isolated and closed off, and feel like I've got to deal with this by myself because
especially as men, right?
Right.
Especially as men,
dude. Especially as men, and men don't cry, right? And at least that's how I was raised. My dad was a Marine, and when we all need help, what I mean by we all need help getting our socks on is we're all going through something, all of us. Here's what's unfair about me being in a wheelchair. I got it easier than you guys do because everybody sees my socks.
Yeah.
So, hey, can I get the door for you? Yeah, you bet. Hey, can I get the cheese for you? Because I can't reach the cheese at the grocery store. Can I get the cheese for you? Yeah, you bet. Hey, and I smile at everyone, and everyone smiles back at me. So that's what everybody's going through something. I don't know what you're going through.
Yeah.
Because you're an able-bodied, good-looking dude that appears from a 30,000 foot view, got everything together, and his life's peachy keen, and I mean, he might have some challenges, but where you might be fighting some demons, maybe demons that I've already fought, and that I could help you with those demons, or vice versa, me, with you giving me a different perspective on paralysis. And don't think as an able-bodied person, you can't give a paralyzed person a new perspective on paralysis. It's just paralysis. It's just paralysis. I'm not going through a divorce. Yeah. I haven't lost a child. My parents don't have cancer. I mean, the list goes on and on, right?
Right.
I'll take paralysis I will pick paralysis every time, because I'm built for it.
Yeah.
Done it twice.
Yeah.
So, that's what I mean. We all need help.
I love that, man.
You know,
That's so good for today's day and age. Like, I don't know if it, I mean, you only live one life.
Yeah.
So you don't know what it was like 300 years ago, 800 years ago, 1200 years. You don't know.
right.
But I definitely feel like in the world that we live in, at least our perspective, that men need help.
Bro.
They need communities. They need people to reach out. One of the things that I try and do every day as part of a mastermind that I'm a part of, one of the things that we try and do every day is just add value to two people every single day. And that's just, it could be a voice text, it could be a text, it could be a video, it could be just a phone call. Just, hey man, I haven't talked to you in a while. Like, how are you doing?
Right.
And if everyone did that,
Dude.
if everyone did that, think of how the world would change. But there's been some cool experiences with reaching out like that, where people just, I mean, nothing crazy yet, you know?
Yeah.
Nothing like, hey, I was just about to shoot myself.
Right.
But it makes me feel good. I know it makes them feel good. And when somebody does that to me, I feel amazing.
Dude, you're making a difference,
You know what I mean?
man. Seriously. And how good does it feel to make a difference? Seriously. I loved what I do because I know that I make a difference. And yeah, men, especially men, need other men to get through this life.
So let's see if we can take this vein, because we talked a little bit before, right? We talked a little bit before, and how you then, let's kind of lead into this.
Yeah.
So you're paralyzed at 30.
Yep.
And they put you on pain pills.
Yes.
And so you get addicted to pain pills.
Yep.
For a matter of time, several years.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we can't link them together, then that's totally fine. But, and maybe you haven't made this connection, but how did either your family, your group, your core, your friends help you through that?
Yep.
And I know it took a long time for you to get there, and then there was kind of some offs and ons. We can talk about that, and if you're
absolutely
willing to share that. What was that like? What was your support? How important was your support system during that time?
Huge. I think. Well, I don't think this. I know this, and I say this quite often. Show me your friends, and I'll show you your future. Yeah. And that's a fact. That is not a cliche.
Yeah, 100%.
That is a fact.
100%.
So my support group, this is what was so cool. So Matt, I decided I was going to walk again, and grinded for 15 years. Grinded 7 days a week, not 5, 7 days a week on this goal of walking. And everyone that I'd surrounded myself with knew my goal and knew where I was headed. There were those along the way that said, hey, for the right amount of money, I'll get you walking. And I paid a lot of money to get walking. Went over to China to have stem cells done. Didn't work out. Went all over the nation doing therapies. Didn't work out. But when it didn't work out and I was confined to a wheelchair, when I was confined to a wheelchair, the people I surrounded myself with knew my heart, knew I didn't want to be an addict, knew I was acting out of character. So that when I decided to get clean, and I abused opiates for 5 years, and I was to the point where I was on 390 milligrams a day of opiates, and OxyContin 80 in the morning, noon, and night. Roxycontin, 25 Roxycontins a day. Yeah, I was very much an addict. Didn't like being in a wheelchair, and had the best excuse in the world to get more pain meds. Look at my x-ray. You know, you've got a pinched nerve and you're getting pain meds. Look at all that gear in my back. I'm paralyzed. I'm in pain. Well, I was in emotional pain, man.
Yeah.
Because as men, we think we got to do this thing by ourselves. Nobody else understands.
And we're told to suck it up in sports. I mean, it connects with, again, right? Like if you got a bruise or raspberry or whatever, even if you broke something that's not confirmed, what are you told by your coach most of the time?
Yep.
Suck it up.
Yep. If it ain't sticking out of the skin, right?
Yeah. Get over it and get on, right? So that's how we grow up.
Yep.
My dad, he wasn't super hardcore, but he was kind of the same way.
Yeah.
You know, just, hey, brush it off, keep going.
Yep.
That's what we're taught.
Toughen up.
And we're not taught to
cry,
deal with it.
I had to learn how to cry
the right way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not ashamed. I cry weekly at a minimum. I cry weekly. I cry in the shower, and I cry over frustration. I would think mostly of whatever's built up throughout the week that is frustrating, like not being able to get the dang cheese, right? And finally the straw hits, and you go in the shower and you cry, because then nobody can see you crying in the shower. But that's where I cry.
Yeah.
It's a great pressure release, huge. So when I decided to get clean, I went cold turkey.
Wow.
Yeah.
Off opioids.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And my doctor, he's like, no.
You're going to go nuts.
You're going to need Suboxone or methadone to deal with these withdrawals. I'm like, nah, I got myself into this. I'm going to do this.
You're a hardcore dude,
bro.
Up here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty tough that way.
Yeah.
I am. As soon as I make a decision, that's what's going to happen. And to a detriment sometimes, you know. I said it, so I got to follow through on, even though I'm that guy. So
yeah, that's a good point, right? Because there's a time where it's important to be able to pull that out of your quiver. It's like you have a quiver of arrows in the back. You got to know which one to use and when to use it.
Yep.
You got to know when to be, and I think that's the challenge of life. For me, for sure. But for all of us, man, it's like, when do you need to be the man?
Right.
And when do you need to cry and let it out?
Right.
And when do you need to be vulnerable and open? And we got to have all of it. We can't just be one-dimensional as men.
Dude.
Right?
My boys don't cry. I've never seen my younger son cry. I've seen my oldest son cry one time because they were taught not to cry. And, I was my oldest was 12. My youngest was 6, bro. And they don't cry. We gotta cry.
Yeah.
I've screwed up. I've made mistakes. You don't need to be perfect. You're not going to be perfect. Live up to your measurement. Don't compete with others. I have learned so much through this. But ask for help. And then us as men, honestly, we know this, just go give it. Just go give help. Just go get your boy and be like, yo, we're going to go. And when I say your boy, go get Eric, come grab me. Yo, man, I haven't seen you for a minute. Let's go grab some lunch. Well, I don't really feel, no, we're going.
Mm-hmm.
We all know. Like the phone call we talked about earlier. Call your mama.
Right.
Call your mama. It means a lot. So I'm trying to teach my boys how to cry. And I'm unsuccessful at it.
So far.
That's the truth. They see me cry a lot, yeah. and I cry in front of them, and I'm not afraid to anymore, or ashamed of it, or embarrassed of it, because those are the emotions I went through crying, in front of anybody. My little girl doesn't cry, bro.
Really?
If there's one thing it would change, it would be to allow her to know how to cry. Yeah. We don't cry.
Yeah.
And we need to cry. I cry. My wife cries. We cry together.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's bomb. It's way bomb. When you got somebody who is just there to love you through whatever you're going through, whatever that is, because it's been ugly. It's been ugly. And she's just loved me. Just love me, man. So, man, you need to teach your kids how to cry.
That's cool.
Yeah, I
hope everybody hears that too.
Yeah, I hope.
Included, but yeah, everybody.
It's important.
Yeah.
It's important to let your kids see you cry, especially like if your dad passes, or, I probably still would not cry out of pain. I wouldn't cry as a physical pain. But emotion, I'm not afraid anymore. I don't hold that back. And I think that's something that men need to work on for sure, is to let that emotion out. It's important.
I agree. I remember times as a kid, my dad was so good at coming to my bedside at night. Not every night, obviously, but like especially once a month, we'd have interviews. Once a month. First Sunday of every month, we'd have an interview with my dad. Not with my mom. I don't know why, but it was always my dad. And I remember the times when we cried.
Mm.
I remember the times when we cried together. I don't remember a lot of the other times other than I know he did it. But I totally have those vivid memories of when we cried, what it smelled like, felt like, looked like.
Yeah.
The lights were off, they were on, whatever. Like, I remember those times. I remember what we were talking about. And I feel connected to my dad because of that, because he was willing to be vulnerable and cry with me. And we would hold each other. It sounds
so badass.
To some people, it sounds kind of weird.
But that's what
we would seriously, he would hug me.
Oh.
And we would probably hug for, I don't know how many minutes, man.
Oh.
And the way that I felt, I was just like, I can do this. Whatever I was going through in life, I was like, I can do this. I can get through this. My dad's got my back.
Yeah.
Not everybody gets that. And I feel so grateful for that. I mean, I feel it right now. I love my dad. And I'm so grateful for that. He was the best dad in the world. And now I'm going to cry. This is not staged. But he's the best dad in the world for me. And I think my brothers feel the same way. I have 5 brothers. And a lot of it is because he's willing to open up and cry.
Wow.
I didn't know we were going to go here, but I mean, this is a great conversation to have for men today.
It is so stinking important to do. It allows your son to see that you're human, and then you have that connect because they know they're human.
Yeah,
your dad. You're like your dad, and oh, okay, it's okay. Without even saying a word, you let them know it is okay to cry, and special times. God, man. I wasn't planning on this either.
That's a good one, though.
Yeah.
You know, while we're on this topic, I think this is important to say, too. I think we live in a world where parents feel like they, at least my parents, I think in some ways, and I think they got better at it as I got older. But I see, as a parent now, that parents feel like they have to look perfect in front of their kids. Because if they don't, then they're enabling their kids to make mistakes. They're telling them that it's okay. And I completely disagree with that. I completely disagree. I think done in the right way, right? Like, it's not like go be an idiot.
Right.
Don't go be an idiot on purpose.
Right.
But my parents aren't idiots. And all I wanted to, for years growing up is just to see that they were human. It was like, Mom, you never messed up. Like, you never had sex before marriage. You never drank. You never
drank. You're describing my mom.
You never did anything. Like, you were perfect.
Right.
Then that puts so much pressure on me.
Yeah.
To be perfect.
Yeah.
I remember one time my dad came to me when I was struggling with things in high school, and he shared with me the struggles that he had that were the same.
Wow.
And dude, it was powerful.
Wow.
It didn't enable me. It made me feel like I can do this. This is a process. This is a journey. Life is getting better.
Yeah.
Like, just about growing and understanding yourself and how to control this body that we're given to, and this mind and our hormones and all the things that go along with it. And he taught me in that moment, it's okay. It's okay to mess up. I did too. And I'm looking at him like, you're my hero.
Right. Right. And you've got a great relationship with your pops. So I can see that you do.
For sure. Still to this day. I'll always have.
So for every guy, everybody listening right now, on the real, boy, my youngest brother and my sister do not have a relationship at all with my mom or my dad because they're perfect. And my younger brother and my younger sister are not perfect, and almost to an extreme showed why I'm not perfect, and so this is the way it works in my house. I'd love for anybody to adopt this because it has worked out marvelously. My kids are never wrong. Okay, they could go and shoot somebody right in the street. And cop could come up and be like, they just shot somebody. No, they didn't. No, they did not. And then we'll get home, and I was like, why did you put me in that situation? Why? But kids got to know that somebody's got them. Yeah. That they are safe. They need a safe place. Yeah. And I didn't have that. And so I was a shitbird growing up, man. I was a holy terror.
Yeah.
So my kids, we talk about everything. Yeah. Drugs, sex, girlfriend. Some of them follow the I was raised in the LDS religion. Mm-hmm. Some of them, one of them still follows along that line, and 2 don't. and I love them all the same.
Yep.
You know, and each one of them is going to learn something different from the decisions they make. It's my job as a father to love and protect.
Absolutely. Unconditionally. That's right. And I love that. You know, I just came out with a post not too long ago about how I feel like, you know, I'm still go to church. I'm still an active member of the LDS Church, but a lot of people don't totally agree with me on this in the LDS Church. Their one rebuttal is the sacrament is so important to take on Sunday. I get it.
Right.
I get it.
Right.
But I'm going to argue until I'm blue in the face that still is not a saving ordinance that gets you into heaven.
Right.
Taking the sacrament. Baptism that's supposed to, at least in the LDS Church, I'm talking doctrine. I'm saying the doctrine of the church says that baptism is a saving ordinance. Right. Taking the sacrament is how you, quote unquote, renew that covenant. Right. Remember it, essentially. But we don't believe that if you didn't take the sacrament the rest of your life that you can't make it to heaven. Right. Backing up to where you're talking about your kids. Yeah. I think it's more important, and this is just my opinion, and that I've kind of grown into, to have a relationship with God and Jesus and to understand your relationship, that he has given us a gift, that the gift is from him, that it's now ours to do the best that we can with, like the parable of the talents. And we need to multiply that. And we need to go to him directly, not to the church, and then to him. And hey, how can I be better? And how can I surround myself with, show me your friends, show me your future. Yep. I pray every night, Heavenly Father, please put the people in my life. That's one of my main things that I need to meet. Yeah. To be the best version of myself. And I think that if we all just adopt that and can try to be the best version of ourselves, put him first. That's the first great commandment. Dude. All the other stuff comes into line. Yep. Whether you're LDS, Catholic, Methodist, Presbyterian, I don't freaking give a crap. Right. If you're trying. Right. Oh. And if you're not trying, I still love you. Right. But I think there's more untapped there. I think that you can tap into a higher power that makes you a better person. Bro. It makes you who you're supposed to be. Dude. He designed you to be. Yeah. Right? You're tapping into that. I think it's interesting that you say, and because I'm a little different, your relationship with God. Yeah. I took that, and for my number one is my relationship with me. I love that. But same, right? Isn't it same, basically? Yeah. Because if I don't show up for me, then I'm showing my kids I'm not showing up for me, and they're not going to show up for them, and they're gonna sacrifice their feelings or whatever else because, well, I knew Dad didn't want to do this, and he did it anyway and just ate crow. I guess I better eat crow too. Here it is, bro. Like in my family, we've got the whole realm, and there's somebody in my family that has been unfaithful to their marriage, and his wife will not leave him, and he continues to be openly unfaithful and away from the church and everything. And I have sat her down and said, look, what are you teaching your kids? That you're just supposed to stand by, pray to God, and let the world steamroll you, and just go with it because you hope somebody will change. No, you got to show up for yourself, because if you don't, no one will. Yes. And I know that's one's coming. Nobody's coming to save you. You got to do you. You can surround yourself, but no one's coming to save you. Not until you at least start to save yourself. Yeah. For sure. I believe in miracles. I believe miracles happen. But at the end of the day, God's not going to force us into heaven. He's not going to force us into hell. There's agency there for sure. Right. You've got to take control. Nobody's starting the business for you. Right. Nobody's going to start your business. Right. Nobody's going to do that for anybody. Nobody's going to pull you out of a marriage. Right. Nobody's going to help you get off opioids. Right. Oh, dude. Like, you got to do that for yourself, right? Dude. Yeah. And the people you surround yourself with will dictate what you become in life and what you achieve. Yeah. And when I was an addict, or when I was a practicing addict, yeah, I hung around addicts, man. When I was short, they gave me pills. When they were short, I gave them pills. And lawyers hang around lawyers. Yeah. NBA players hang around NBA players.
Show me your friends, show you your future. It's just facts. So parents, here's another thing I've learned throughout my life.
Yeah.
A mother's intuition is never wrong.
It's wild. Yeah. Yeah. Almost like Sherlock Holmes, right? They just know.
There have been times in my marriage and in my life where I remember we're going to Anaheim Stadium to watch the Angels, and I need to take a right, and my wife, like, no, do not take that right. Don't do it. We got to go over this other way. So I listen, because throughout my life I've made some really not listened and made some bad decisions.
Like, even if this doesn't work out, I'm just going to listen.
Right.
And at least I listen. Right?
And every time, man, every time it works out without a hitch. So it doesn't matter what the plan is. If my wife says something, then that's the plan. That's the new plan, man. And here's the other thing too. Boy, here we go, bro. Don't compete with others. I can't compete with Eric Gubler, okay? And you can't compete with... I could go get my other wheelchair. You bring you in, and you're an athletic dude. We could both go mess around in wheelchairs, and you'd learn how to do everything. But if you tried to be me, you're gonna fall short, right? You get close. Yeah, I bet you get close, but you're gonna fall short because there's only one Matt Blanchard. That's it. There's only one Eric Gubler.
Sure.
So why would anybody that's listening want to be anybody than the best version of yourself?
Yes.
Because that's the only person that you can beat. That I can't compete with you, and you can't compete with me because I'm perfect, bro. I am the one and only. Yes. So I am perfect. In a sense, I am perfect.
Yep.
I just need to improve upon the perfection. It's like getting in shape. There's not all of a sudden one day you're in shape and you're good to go, bro. You're good to go. Right. No more. You don't have to do anything else. You're in shape. It's a never ending process. Same, just be the best version of yourself. And my goal is to be a better version of me yesterday, and today I'm killing it.
Yeah.
I'm a better father today. I'm a better husband today. I'm a better friend today. I have more opportunities to reach other people today. I'm a better me today than I was yesterday. And I was a badass yesterday, man.
Yeah, yeah. How do people get that, Matt? What do you think? Like, what people listening to this right now, were you born with it? Did you always feel that way? Did you develop it?
Here you go. Boy, I've never talked about this. When I was in elementary school, the girls liked me. And I would go home and I would look in the mirror, and what I looked at, I didn't find attractive. Mm. And I started with my eyes. I'll never forget. And I would tell myself every day how gorgeous my eyes are. Really? And then I would go.
How old were you?
I was in fourth grade. Fourth grade.
What is that? That's
what is that?
8, 9? What is
10. 10. Because I remember my Mr. Tegro. Boy. But I remember looking at my face in the mirror and thinking that's what people find attractive, and just falling in love with myself at a young age. And then I always wanted to be the fastest. That was very important to me, to be the fastest in the neighborhood, to be it didn't matter if I was playing with my 3-year-old, 3 years older than me brother. I wanted to be the fastest. So I really worked hard on that. And I'd wake up in the morning early, and I'd go run around the neighborhood. I'd get on my bike and do different things. So at a young age, I came up with a concept that I call non-negotiables.
Yeah.
So I've got goals. We all have goals. I have a goal to speak at Madison Square Garden. I don't know how I'm going to get there and do that, but that's a goal of mine. I have a goal of walking again. Don't know exactly how I'm going to get there, but I'm going to get there. And then I have non-negotiables. So I've got 7 non-negotiables. I don't watch pornography. I don't take any type of illicit drug at all. I don't drink alcohol. I don't eat McDonald's. I don't drink soda. I go to the gym every single day, and I cold plunge in 32 degree water every morning. First thing I do.
You're in the 30 degree.
Bro.
30 degree range.
I put salt in it. I'm cuckoo like that.
Yeah.
Like when you say you're extreme, I'm extreme.
Yeah.
So I put salt in there so I could get the temperature below the 32 degrees. So I could be in below freezing water and still be in water.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I'm wired a little
But
bit.
here's the thing, though. You know, I hear you talk about I love all of those.
Yeah.
I love all of those. Have you been perfect at all of those?
No.
You haven't, right?
Nope.
But those are still, you're saying those are my non-negotiable. That is what I am striving to be the best version of myself. And I think that's important for everybody to hear. You can't be perfect at it.
Right.
But that when you fail, you get back up and you keep back on that track.
Yes.
Right? 100%.
100%.
And I just love the fact that you have those, that they're set in stone, that is like my path to being the best version of myself. Because you have to have those core things.
Yes.
You have to. And it could be journaling. You could add that.
Right.
It could, whatever.
Whatever.
It doesn't have to be what Matt does.
Right.
It doesn't have to be what Matt does.
Right.
I think yours are great. I think people should adopt those.
Right. Well, so and as soon as you follow through on those non-negotiables daily, because those are hard non-negotiables, bro.
Yeah.
A McDouble Mac, 2 McDoubles Mac sauce, a large fry, and a large Coke. That's my jam.
Yeah, really.
Haven't had that in over a year.
Really.
So every day when I fulfill my non-negotiables, I'm proud of myself.
Yes.
Because that's hard stuff, man.
Kept the commitment to yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
And that gives me self-confidence.
Absolutely.
Because I'm being true to me. I didn't try to bench press more than Eric today and fall short of that. You're
competing against you.
That's it. And people need to stop looking at the Joneses.
Yes.
Because I'll tell you what, go get in the Joneses' shoes for a second and you will very quickly jump back in your own shoes.
Yes. I just said this to a guy. It was funny. I was out on a walk. I think it was Sunday or something. And I'm out on a walk and I'm walking back to our neighborhood and this guy pulls over in a truck. I'm like, he's like, hey man, do you remember me? I was like, oh man, I hate it when you don't. But he's in a truck. He's got sunglasses, hat, whatever. And I'm like, man, I'm sorry, I don't. And he's like, I'm so-and-so. I met you it was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
One time.
Right.
And I was like, dude, I totally remember you now. How you doing? And he started saying, I follow you on Instagram and I love your content. I love your stuff. And he started going, I would love to hear coaching and I would love to get better in my business. I feel like I'm struggling in my marriage, this and that.
Right.
I got on a Zoom call with him this last week and I told him the exact same thing that you just said.
Yeah.
I said, don't try to go and write in your, read your scriptures for an hour.
Right.
Do it for 3 minutes.
Dude.
But write it down the day before. I am going to do this and do it.
Yep.
Even if it's a 1 minute, because it's exactly what you said. I love it so much that you kept the commitment that you made to yourself. You did it and you did what you said you would do when you said you were going to do it.
Right.
And that brings confidence every single time.
Every time.
And if he can just stack those, he will get more confident. He will become a better version of himself.
Yep.
100%.
And here's the other thing that I don't think people have to know this, right? Everybody struggles with marriage. Marriage is work. The highs are high and the lows are low. And then you've got the rest of this life thing you're trying to put together with it. And men need a safe place to come and talk about their marriage and to talk about their kids and talk what do you think? And they need that. Like these mastermind groups and the things that you're developing are going to save lives, man. That's the truth.
Thank you.
Yeah. So
it's awesome.
Yeah, that's why when I came in, I was like, you got it. Don't dare quit. So, yeah.
I love it, man. Super good stuff. So, but you got off pain. I mean, let's bounce back, but and kind of get into it again. You got off the pain pills.
Yep.
You're clean for how long? Go back into it.
So before I got off, I remember I was walking out of LDS Hospital in Salt Lake. Okay. I didn't think this. I knew I was walking out of LDS Hospital. Now, I am not of the LDS faith anymore, but that religion served me flawlessly. I do not have one ill thing, not one thing to say ill about that religion. Great religion. And I got home and did the best to destroy my marriage because I didn't want my wife married to a cripple. So I wasn't 6'2", 215. I couldn't get dressed on my own. I couldn't go to the bathroom on my own. I couldn't shower. I couldn't do anything on my own anymore. And so I did everything I could possibly do, said every horrible thing to get her to leave me. And with tears running down her face, I didn't marry your legs. I love you. I'm not going anywhere. Wow. And she wrote on the mirror in our bathroom, what kind of day will it be today? You decide.
Mm.
And
sounds like a rock star.
Dude, life's a decision, bro. So as to be happy, you first have to choose to be happy. It's not just all right, I want to be happy, then choose to be happy. How do you be happy? You get out of your own way and you serve other people. Well, how do I serve other people? You smile at somebody. And how are you doing? It's been a while. Oh, I've seen you around. I'm Matt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And because that's really simple, really simple. So yeah, if you want to be happy, go serve. That's a fact as well. Get out of your own way. It's not about me. It's not about you. And look what you're doing. You're having me on your show so that you can hopefully impact other people, which you're doing.
You're going to.
Right.
That's your words for sure. Absolutely.
And you're creating a mastermind for men, a safe, bro, I'm telling you right now, and you're not going to use this in the recording. You need to charge for that. If you create, not if, when you create a safe place for men, they will flock to you.
So this is a great plug. September 5th through the 8th, we're doing our first event in Homestead Ranch.
All right.
So for everybody listening to this right now, keep following Instagram. We're going to have links where people can sign up. It's going to be $2,000. It's a fairly high ticket. I don't think so.
Right.
I honestly feel like if you think $2,000 is too high for the value that you're going to get with the people that you're going to listen to, and the workouts you're going to do, and the breath work, and the mental stuff that you're going to go through, it will change your life. That $2,000, I swear, will 10x minimum.
Yeah.
Minimum. And if it doesn't, I'll freaking give it back to you.
Right.
But I honestly believe that masterminds that I've done that I spent $2,000, I've made $200,000 on because there was just one little thing, one person, one relationship. It's like Ed talks about it all the time.
Yeah.
You're one relationship away. You're one thought away.
That's it.
You're one conversation away.
That's it.
From unlocking your potential. If somebody can't pay $2,000 to come to my mastermind September 5th through the 8th, I don't want you there.
Right.
Because you're not mentally where you need to be able to get the best or the most out of it for yourself.
Yeah.
To me, $2,000 is nothing compared to what people will get for it. But to answer your question, we are. And there's two different ones. So the one, I do one that is free, that people can just come and we have speakers. I'd love to have you on that too. We can talk more about it. But even the paid one, we can talk about that too.
Yeah.
But I have those two different ones right now. So.
Yeah. Listen, the people who are listening right now, $2,000 really to invest into you.
Right.
Into you. It's time to put yourself first.
Yes.
And by working on you and becoming a better you, you're going to be by default a better husband, a better father, a better friend, a better human being. Because you're going to be around like-minded humans trying to do the same thing. It'll be, dude, the energy there's going to be amazing.
It's going to be incredible. I mean, it's a small barrier to entry.
Yeah. Right.
A small barrier to entry. And those are the people that you want around you.
Here it is right here. And for everybody listening, you better be there. Okay. It's only $2,000. And I know this from experience. Until I started charging for speaking, dude, I would struggle to get gigs. And I would, hey, I'll come and speak for free. Well, da-da-da-da-da. Then you start charging, and they're like, okay. So there's value.
Right.
There, and you've got skin in the game. You've got skin in the game to get out of your mastermind what it offers. Absolutely.
You want the highest ROI out of the room.
Right.
You're paying money. And this is how I feel. And if you feel this way, if you feel this hesitancy of anything, I mean, it doesn't matter if it's this one in September or if it's some other mastermind, get involved.
Right. Yes.
Get involved. But here's the thing. This is the point that I think we're trying to get across.
Yeah.
If you feel that hesitancy of spending $2,000. This is what you're saying to yourself. You're saying, I don't believe in myself enough. If I go pay the $2,000, I don't believe that I'm going to go get the ROI.
Dude.
You don't trust yourself.
Right.
So get out of your way.
Right.
Get out of your own way. Make yourself pay the $2,000. Because if you will show up and pay that $2,000 and believe in your mind that you can do it,
yes,
it's game over.
Done.
Everyone's a millionaire.
Done.
It's just you got to get out of your own way.
Done. Okay, so there it is right there. Hey, people that are on the fence about this whole thing, you want to go be around other millionaires, you better be there September 5th or the 8th.
Yeah.
Because you will be surrounded by other millionaires. And if you want to become a millionaire, who you better hang around, right? Yeah. Interestingly enough, I was around a couple billionaires the other day, and they're making fun of me. They're like, Matt, you know why you're not a billionaire? And I'm like, no, tell me why I'm not a billionaire. And I started giving them all the reasons. They're like, no, because you think like a millionaire. That was their response. And I'm like, okay, all right. So tell me how to be a billionaire if I'm thinking like a millionaire, thinking about these companies and this, that, and the other. They swear to you. You want to be a billionaire? Help other millionaires become billionaires. By, again, service. Getting out of your own way. It's not about you. The ROI is coming. And sometimes the ROI doesn't come as fast as we'd like.
Yeah.
Because you're not ready for the ROI.
Yeah.
Because you are not ready for the ROI. You'll get the ROI when you're ready.
Yeah,
you'll get that data download.
Money can be a curse if you're not ready to.
Oh.
For sure.
Oh.
You don't want it. Because if you're a shithead now, this is the first time I swore on my show.
Yeah.
If you're a shithead now, you'll be a bigger one.
Amen.
With money. Because money's just an amplifier.
You bet.
So you don't want it.
Nope.
I don't want you to have it. But if you're a good dude and you've developed in every area of your life, not to be perfect,
right?
But you're pushing hard, you have your non-negotiable set, and you've stayed consistent. I want everybody like that to have money because they're good people. And why wouldn't all of us want more people that are good to have lots of money to do more good? It amplifies good.
Yep.
Right?
You know, be humble. Be humble. My brother's got a lot of money. Got more money than me, and he is miserable. Just a miserable SOB. Couldn't talk to his mom, and you know what I'm saying? So what you said is exactly right. If you're miserable now, and somebody drops a pile of money, or you go earn or somehow, and you're not ready for that, you're just gonna be a bigger shithead. You're gonna be more miserable.
Yeah.
You're gonna spend all that damn money because you didn't earn it. You don't deserve it.
So good.
You got to go through the trenches. You got to. Yeah.
It's like Tiger Woods, dude. I love it when he says like, you didn't earn it.
Right.
If you didn't work, if you didn't go and put in the work,
yep,
you don't deserve it.
Right.
You didn't earn it. I love that clip.
And more importantly,
so
you
good.
don't deserve it. Yep.
What was that? The Hall of Fame? Or what
yep. That was his. He got some award, right?
Yeah. It was so good, man. And I totally agree. This is exactly what we're talking about. And dude, what's so crazy about this podcast episode is this is not where I thought we would go.
Me either.
It's like we went off this family. I mean, talking about it before, it's like, hey, my drug addiction,
right.
I'm paralyzed from the waist down. I got paralyzed twice.
Right.
And we're an hour into this thing. We went off, but I think it was what we needed to talk about. And you're probably like, I mean,
we
just
could go on and on.
What's that? Yeah, we could go for hours, right?
Right.
About this stuff, but it's so crucial. Let's kind of wrap it up with this. You're in the high schools, which I think is so sick. We talked about that before this show, and you love it.
Love it.
I would love it. I mean, I think that is so cool what you're doing for these kids. Talk to us about that and the passion that you have for these kids in high school. And what you see, what do they need, your love for them. Dive into it, man.
Dude, they're my jam, man. I love every high school down here, too. Crimson, congratulations on your baseball. Just won state tournament 2-timing it. Abbott, good job, Abbott.
Justin, yep.
My kids love Dan. I mean, I love the high school kids, and I've got this connection with them, with youth in general. And what I do understand is that life is extremely difficult. I get that. Life's hard, and life's not fair. And it's never going to be fair. So if you're waiting for it to be fair, because you got a raw deal and you're just waiting for it to come back around, it's not coming. Pick yourself up and let's go. I'm going to touch on some of the things. So in my second accident, I experienced what's after this. It's absolutely amazing. Like, it's unreal. It's unreal. But anyone that's contemplating suicide, the emotions, everything you're going through right now will follow you to the other side. You don't leave that here. Those are lessons to be learned here and now. So in real quickly, in the aspect of eternity, eons of information, 100 years, the average that we stay here. Well, I think it's 83 years. So 83 years in the aspect of eternity is literally a blink of an eye, less than the blink of an eye. So learn the lesson here. Don't take eons to learn the same damn lesson, because it's following you to the other side. So get help. You're not, kids, you're not alone, man. You are not alone. I had thoughts of suicide? You bet. Yeah, you bet. How did I get through those? Hoping that it would get better, and it does. That's the other thing I've learned. Everything's temporary. When you're on top of the world and you're kicking butt, it's temporary. You're going to be challenged. That's what we're here for. And then as soon as you get through that challenge and you're back on top of the world, everything's cyclical. So what you're going through right now, I know it feels like it's forever and it's going to take forever, or you can't even see the end. It's temporary. It's temporary. Everything is temporary. So if you're in hell, don't stop in hell, man.
Yeah.
Keep grinding. I don't understand the social things that come with what they're going through with these phones and cyberbullying and whatever else. You know, they've got vaping now and all this stuff that they're going through. And I can't really speak to any of that other than I'm an addict. I'm going to fight that the rest of my life. I had no intention of becoming an addict. It's a slippery slope. So when you're offered to vape for your first time, why? Why would you do that? If you're offered marijuana, why would you do that? You know, no one raises their hand. I want to be an addict. Me, right here. I want to be the addict. I want something controlling me. Nobody does that. And I can tell you firsthand, that sucks. To throw a pill in the corner and get on your hands and knees and crawl over to it. I know what that's like. I know the shame that goes along with being an addict. If you're an addict, today's the day, man. Right here on Eric's show. Let's go. That's my challenge to you right now. Let's go. This thing has taken enough time from you. It's stolen enough time from your friends, from your family. Let's do it. Is it going to be hard? Hell yeah, it's going to be hard. You're the one that made the decision to get there. So who have you surrounded yourself with? And if you're like, well, I don't know. Well, then go surround yourself with your family. Go to your dad. Go to your mom. Go talk to them. They've gone through some hard shit too. They've got however many years of life experience that you're never going to catch ever. But they've experienced some stuff. So go and talk to your mom and dad. Go talk to your brother and sister. Don't compete with me or anybody else. Just be the best version of you. So
yeah, so many mic drop moments are there. We could cut that up into like 5 or 6 different reels. We could make so many out of those right there.
He's so good too, right?
Yeah. We're gonna get too many reels from this episode for sure. So good. I appreciate you. I appreciate the man that you are. Thanks. I appreciate your message. I appreciate your purpose. I wish we had more people like you, and I think we do. I think we have a lot of good people out there. I think there's a lot of good people, but you're one of them.
Thanks.
And honored to have you on the show, man. I mean, it was so fun to jam with you on these things today. It really was.
Thanks, bro.
I really enjoyed it.
It's been a great time. It really has.
How do people find you?
So the best way to get a hold of me is my Instagram and all my socials. So if you typed in Matt Blanchard, I'm sure it would come up. It's Matty Blanch, and then the number 3 on Instagram. Facebook's straight Matt Blanchard. Straight Mac Blanchard on TikTok, and then on what is it, YouTube? Same. So just go Google me or whatever and see what I'm about. Like, I am about positivity, man. Yeah. That's it.
You want this guy in your life for sure. You want him in your algorithm, feeding you every single day in your social media, and just those things popping up every day. The message that you have to share, I know, will change lives. So,
thanks.
Go follow this man.
Yeah, go follow me. Come follow me.
Go follow this guy.
We will win. I promise. We will win. I don't know how to lose.
Yeah, guys. Episode 6. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time.